Right. Network. Hey. Network. Escom. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, guys and dolls, welcome to another show. This is Global Talk with Bishop Q. Welcome if you've just joined us. Make sure that you stay tuned. This is the show that you've been looking for. Today we have an interview that we are doing with one of the kids that I've worked with. So just make sure that you keep on telling us. Good morning. I see Dave is also here. Good morning, good afternoon, because I also see people who are coming from across the country as well and globally, because we have friends that I've been talking to from Germany. So if you've just joined us, welcome. It's a Thursday. It's a special day for us. So just remember that tomorrow we'll be doing special prayers. But for today, I have a special interview that I need you to listen to. There's a lady from Ga-Rankuwa that I met that I need you to listen to her story. He has, this is the story. This is what happened. Let me just get into it. In 2017, I did a tour around the country. And while I was doing my tour, one of the places that we went to, it was Ga-Rankuwa. And I met a young person there. And he was a young boy. And he was staying in some orphanage of some sort. Now, when I get there, the boy could not walk. He could not even use his hands. If you could see some of my profiles, I also have added him in my profiles. And I was looking at this boy, and now I locked the side of looking at the entire orphanage, and I started focusing on this boy. We started talking. He was not able to go to school because he could not walk, he could not talk properly, and so forth. And I then decided to sit down and start talking to this young man, because you can imagine that being bound in a chair for the rest of your life and unable to talk, unable to walk, unable to go to school, meaning you are caught up in that particular house. And then I spoke to one of the ladies who was in charge there, Louisa. That is the lady that will be interviewing today. And it was quite interesting to watch this boy who loved TV like any other thing, and he enjoyed cricket. Louisa will be taking us through the story of what happened with the boy. It's a very sad story that you need to listen to, but very encouraging as well. Now, one of the risks that I took is that after our meeting, I decided to go to the boy and sit down and asked him one more question and said to him, tell me, Mfanagit, if you had a choice, if you had a dream, what is it that you'd want to achieve? I was taking a risk because it's a young person, and asking a young person such a question he could have asked to go to Mauritius, he could have asked to go to Disneyland. And me being poor, where would I get the money to do that? But trusting God and believing in the work that I do, working for children and running globally, the boy looked at me and he answered and said, if I could meet the South African cricket team, I would be happy. I remember, because we were a team of 4, because normally when I tour, I normally have an entourage that I normally go with. So I had a driver who I was with. There was a lady who was looking after my medication and food, because I'm also diabetic as well. So I need to look at my food, what do I eat, especially when I'm going on tour. And I also had Austin, who was my manager. And she was quick to jump and say to me, how dare do you ask that boy what does he want? What if that boy could have asked for something else that we cannot reach? I said, no, it's fine. I believe that God will be able to grant me whatever the boy wants, because I believe that as a servant of God, God would never allowed me to meet the boy and so forth. And we left Ga-Rankuwa and we started the tour. We went to Northwest, we went to Bloemfontein and so forth. And I remember when we were in Bloemfontein after some few weeks, as we were driving through, we were passing by some hotel. And as we were passing a hotel, I looked and I saw a bus that was written South African Cricket Team. I could not believe my eyes. I jumped out of the car while the car was in motion. Jumped out of the car. I ran straight to the hotel. And when I got there, I had the picture of the boy. And I spoke to the security, like, look, I need to speak to the cricket team. Bagupi, I need to talk to them. Please, this is it. And I remember the security says, the reception. I convinced the reception, and after talking to the reception, I remember that they called the management, because remember that you getting through the national team is not an easy thing. So I stood there with doing that little prayer at the moment, and God being who He is, the manager came through. Hi, can I help you? Do you need a place to stay or what? And it's a very fancy hotel in Bloemfontein. And I was like, no, I have this picture. I have this boy. I met him in Ga-Rankuwa almost a month ago. I'm on tour. My name is Bishop Q. I would love to have 2 minutes, like literally 1-2 minutes. I just want to speak to the cricket team. I just want to see if my luck can work. They said, okay, fine. We'll speak to them, because you are even fortunate because they are sitting there just across at the reception. And the manager even mentioned that we have very fortunate. All right, I waited. And after they've had their meeting, they called me in. I started meeting the guys. Only to find out I met the team manager and the coach. We're sitting there, both of them. Hi, guys, how are you? I started introducing myself. Quickly, in 1 minute, I told them about the tour, that I'm on tour and everything. And the other minute, I showed them the photo that this is the young man. I think it's about 13. One thing that he's wishing, and his only wish, is to meet the cricket team. And the team manager looked at me and he laughed at me. He said, no, you know what? We will make it happen. Where does the boy stay? I said, in Pretoria, Ga-Rankuwa. They looked at the schedule and they were going through the schedule, and they said, no, I think we'll be in Pretoria around about February. So just make sure that you arrange everything and you make sure that the boy can come to the ground and meet the South African cricket team. I've never praised God like that. Never. I went out of the hotel. I was raising my hands. Oh, Barasia Karashaba. Oh, Father God, I can't believe you have came down personally to come and relieve me. And I looked at my manager. My manager says, yeah, you are a true risk and a true man of God. You just believed in yourself. And we left. I think it was around about August or so. And we left and we were very excited about it. And we continued with the tour. I took out my phone. Louisa said, Louisa, look, this is happening. Are you ready? Hey, Louisa was so excited. He told the boy could not believe it. The months went on. We finished the tour and we came back to Soweto. Now, very interestingly is that we started preparing for the tour. Louisa will take you through as we do the interview with her. But the boy was very excited. Sadly, the boy died immediately after meeting the cricket team. And when the cricket team heard about his passing, I think they were playing in Pakistan, if I'm not mistaken. They started sending messages, and I think it is one of my biggest achievements. done much about my life. I might have traveled, I might have done everything, but making sure that this young person is able to his dream before he passes on, for me, it is the biggest achievement that I've ever done. Hear her story, and she will tell you how difficult it was raising that child. How did you find the child, and so forth. So these are some of the things that that one, when you look at through it, when you look at such into such issues, you get encouraged, you get positiveness in your heart, and say, at least I've done something well. You know, there is something good that I've done. You know, it's not a bad thing. You know, there is something good that I've done. Louisa, you can connect. Can you be able to find us? Let us see if you can find Louisa. Let us see. Okay, she's online. We're trying to get her on the screen so that she's able to appear there. Eskom, it's killing us. We can't even connect properly. I see her connecting. Lulu?
Yes, okay. Okay, thanks.
Still beautiful after all these years.
Do I have to press chat?
Lulu?
Flattery will get you nowhere.
But honestly, still beautiful after all these years.
Can you hear me, Bishop Q?
Yes, yes, I can.
Network.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. I'm saying flattery will get you nowhere.
But how are you, though? It's been a long time since I've seen that beautiful face and that great smile.
We are well, thank you very much, under the grace of God. But yes,
Oh, yes.
we are fine, thank you. And how are you doing?
God is still good. God is still colorful, and we are still here.
Wonderful.
Let us get down to business because I can see that the network is giving us problems. Please give us the background of about yourself first. Let us start with you first before we get to any other matters. Tell us who you are. I call you Lulu. I feel comfortable with that, but give us your background.
Okay, I am Louisa Hobson, born King from, as you can see from my white hair that I've seen many years in my life. And
all right.
I'm extremely for that because I've got many kilos behind me, especially a lot of working with kids. That is my passion, working with children.
Right. Here am I doing my tour around the country. Now I'm caught in Garangua. I come to your place. Now you have this house that you are running with children, and there are many. How did that house start? Because also the story behind that house, it's very interesting.
Okay. I'm actually at a place we call home, which is Charlene's place of safety.
Right.
Charlene's place of safety, we started as a family, my daughter and my son, with my daughter and my son. And we named it Charlene's place of safety, which is in honor of my late daughter, Charlene Wilson, who died of AIDS on 14 April 2003. So she was very passionate about HIV and AIDS. She was with Treatment Action Campaign, one of the leaders of Treatment Action Campaign. And it was her vision while she was still alive that she should do something for children who have been affected and infected by HIV and AIDS. Unfortunately, she passed away before she could realize her dream. So as a family, we decided then that we start a home in her honor. And yes, since 2003, we have been running, we have been taking care of less fortunate kids, should I say, and yeah, kids who need a home and need some love and care. And of course, that has kept me going as well, because I've always had a purpose. When I wake up in the morning, I wake up with a purpose that I have got a service to render to the children that need me.
That's correct. When you talk about action campaign, I'm getting goosebumps because I'm getting goosebumps when you talk about TAC because I used to work there as well. Can you hear me?
Yes, Treatment Action Campaign, in actual fact, we are still in contact with Mark Hayward from Treatment Action Campaign. So
Wow.
yes, Treatment Action Campaign has done a lot of great work in our country and for our people. And yeah, what can we say except salute to them?
Yeah, because I also remember, because I also grew up under the hand of Mark Haywood, and he has been a very good mentor. Hence, today we are running these organizations that we are running, traveling all over Africa and doing our work. Now, specifically, there was a young man who was there who captured my mind like never before. I saw a young man who was sitting there, he could not walk, and he spoke very softly and everything. Who is this young man? Where did you meet this young boy?
Okay, we are talking about Thembinkosi Machimane.
Right.
Thembinkosi is, yes, Thembinkosi Machimane. We called him Scrappy. Tembi was born at a hospital in Pretoria, Calafong Hospital.
Right.
And according to the information we got from the social worker, he was abandoned at birth by his mom.
Right.
Tembi was severely deformed. His limbs were so severely deformed that when he came to our home, or when he was placed in our home on the 28th of August 2005, we couldn't even put clothing on him. We had to wrap clothes around him. And apparently, because of his severe deformity, his mother decided that she should actually abandon him at the hospital because she would not have been able to take care of him. So yes, Thembi Nkosi came to our home. He was born actually on the 17th of August 2005. He came to our home, which is the place of safety, on the 28th of August 2005. And yes, we grew Thembi up. What a wonderful little man he was.
It took me a while to acknowledge this interview because it's also very emotional for me. One of the things that was also said was that you were also telling us the story about his operation while he was young, that one of the professors, after the operation, what did the professor say? He said something very stupid. I wish I could meet that professor today.
Yeah, it's actually very unfortunate, Bishop Q, that I do think some of us in life, we tend to play God. In actual fact, it was during a spell when Thembi Nkosi had a lung problem. He did have various surgeries, yes, corrective surgery, but unfortunately, because of the severity of the muscle disorder, his disorder was actually called arthrogryposis.
Okay.
And because of the severity of the muscle disorder, he had to undergo, while he was with us during the 13 years of his life, he had 5 corrective surgeries. But in any case, when he came down with a lung infection, which normally happens with children, sitting in wheelchairs because of immobility and that kind of thing,
right.
I took Thembi to the hospital, the local hospital, and on the morning when the professor made his rounds together with the doctors after Thembi was admitted, he actually asked, "And why does this patient look like Spider-Man?" And of course, at that point in time, my spirits dropped because I loved Thembi with a passion. Thembi was about 5, well, he was just under 5 years old then.
Right.
And the professor said to the doctors, after they explained to him why they admitted Thembi, then the professor said to me that I can treat the condition, but of course Thembi will not be with us for a long time. In fact, within a 5-year period, then it would be over. So I should prepare myself. I was naturally extremely emotional. And at that point in time, I actually questioned God that, how can you do this to me? I took this boy in when nobody else wanted him. I loved him. I did all that I possibly could to keep him happy, just to be told that within a few months he would be gone. God was good and God had other plans. It took 2 weeks short of 13 years before Thembi was finally called.
I wish I could have heard, or I wish you could remember the type of prayer that you prayed after that so-called professor said whatever he said. I wish I could understand the type of prayer that you prayed at that particular time. Surely it might not be long, but surely it was very direct, like, God, I think you need to come in and intervene here.
Bishop Q, when things like that happen or at times like that, I think God understands us so well that we go on our knees and the tears roll down. We actually have no words to say to him. Similar to the day when Tim Nkosi passed away, I had no words for days. I couldn't speak to God. All I did was go on my knees and shed tears.
Wow. Okay. All right. Now, here's Quintin, this guy called Bishop Quintin, whoever. Now he comes and he asks this boy, what is your dream? And the boy says, I want to see the cricket team, the South African cricket team. Tell us about that.
Exactly. Yes. It's actually so strange. From the age of 3, Timby saw sport on TV, and here these guys were on TV hitting the ball around.
Right.
And he asked me, he said, Oma, what are they doing? So I had to explain to him that this is something called cricket. And he said to me, I want to watch it. I will tell you, from that day on, Timby loved cricket with a passion. He learned to read numbers. He learned to count from watching cricket. He got to know the scores like the back of his hand. When he asked me, Oma, why are they doing that now? I would say to him, please look and listen. Yes. Because every action is being explained as the game is carrying on. He loved the game to a point where he knew all the players by name.
Yes.
When the team changed, if there was someone else in the team that came in, he knew exactly who was out and who was in. His favorite player, however, was Quinton de Kock.
All right.
And I'll tell you, that was the man that he wanted to meet the most.
Right.
But on the Bishop Q?
Yes. I'm here.
Okay. On the day when you visited, and he said his dream would be to meet the squad, I said to myself, okay, fine. This is just a pipe dream. But anyway, let's see what happens.
Yes.
And then on a particular day, Bishop Q called and said, I have got an appointment. I'm taking the boy is going to meet the team. The excitement that Tembi displayed was, you cannot explain how excited he was. And then on the day when we went, if my memory serves me correctly, it was the 15th of February, 2018.
Yes.
When we met the team in Centurion and Bishop Q, you were there. Tembi's first reaction was, well, A.B. de Villiers, Shamsi, and Ngidi came out. And Tembi burst out crying. He could not believe that these people that he saw on TV were actually real.
Yes,
I had to pick him up and wait for him to regain his composure.
Yes.
And as the players came out, then he started, you are Imran Tahir, you must stop running across the field, you're going to have a heart attack. And he spoke to Dumini, and he spoke to Pehlogwayo, and he spoke to Rabada, and he spoke to Hashim Amla. I'll tell you, and everybody was like looking at him in awe. He knew them all. He knew when it was World Cup, where they were playing, what time they were playing, and who they were playing against. He knew the international players as well. So I'll tell you, his mind was unbelievable. It was out of this world.
You know, I was just saying earlier on, just before I connected with you, that even if I was to die tomorrow, I might have had 100 things that I did not do correctly with God and my ancestors, but surely giving that young man his dream. Because I remember you told me that he woke up very early in that morning, and just to show the presence of God. I remember that when we arrived, you were already there, and you were way ahead of the appointment time. And just to shower us, there was also rain that came in very slightly to make sure that nobody goes to training for that day, and everybody was expected to come and meet this young man.
Yeah, the intervention of the higher being. It was
Yes.
phenomenal, actually.
I remember he was also able to call each player, because I remember that we went through the bus, because normally the bus would normally have faces of all the cricket guys, and he went there. I was with him. Each and every one, he was able to say who is he, the strong point, the weak point, and everything. It was something else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I'm saying I knew exactly. I didn't have to sit and watch the cricket. He used to talk the match through to me. And he knew exactly if they were playing a 5-day match, I would have to wake up by 10 o'clock. He's in front of the TV because he's waiting for the previous day's highlights and waiting to watch the match until night. Of course, there was always chaos in the home because we have other kids and they wanted to watch cartoons and kiddies programs. But of course, Tembi always had the last say. Cricket was the match on, well, was the viewing for that day.
Yeah. Now, tell us, now you are coming back home. You have seen the cricket team, you have seen the Amla and all the guys and everybody. Now, what is the discussion from Pretoria, from the show ground where we were, all the way to home and that particular evening?
Wow, I'll tell you, Temi could not, he couldn't keep quiet, okay? He couldn't keep quiet. He couldn't wait again to see them play because now he had inspired them, okay? To him, he had inspired them. And the next day, South Africa, well, the Proteas were again. Unfortunately, we lost the match the next day. But I'll tell you,
Right.
for him, that didn't matter. What mattered most was he had seen them. And the highlight had been Morne Morkel had taken off his T-shirt and gave Tembi his T-shirt. Now, Bishop Q, you know the size that Tembi was. So you can imagine Morne Morkel's T-shirt was Morne Morkel's T-shirt was like an evening gown, the way it fitted Tembi. And of course, he had A.B. de Villiers on, and A.B. de Villiers' cap was, for him, it needs to stay on his head because it was given to him. So I'll tell you that meant the world to Tembi. His dream had been built on that day.
Wow. Now, sadly enough, just not long after I go there, you gave me a call, and he has reached his dream. He has done everything. Now he decided to part ways with us.
Yeah, sadly enough, that was inevitable. And because we are human, we tend to think it will not happen. On the morning, the 2nd of August, 2018, 2 weeks before Tembi's 13th birthday, we were running and the Proteas were playing in Sri Lanka. Tembi was naturally, because he was such a cricket fan,
Right.
He woke up in the morning and naturally he wanted to watch Morning Live because he wanted to see how the Proteas had played.
Right.
We had won the second ODI in Sri Lanka, and he was extremely happy. And then he still says to me, he says, Omar, we've won the second match. It was a Thursday morning. He says, we're playing again on Sunday. If we beat them on Sunday, then it means we've beaten them at home, on their home ground. And I said, yes, my boy. A few minutes later, after seeing the other kids off to school, I came back into the house. And of course, Timby was potty trained, even though he was so severely disabled. He asked me to take him to the toilet. So I picked him up, and his nose was a little bit wet. 2nd of August, winter, it's quite cold, and his nose was a bit wet, so I wanted to clean his nose. As we got to the toilet, I was going to put him down, and he says to me, Omar, are you putting me down with my jockey on? And I said to him, oh, I'm sorry, my boy. I want to clean your nose. I was concentrating on your nose. So I subsequently pulled his jockey down, placed him nicely on the toilet, held him because he couldn't support himself. So I held him with the one hand on the toilet and I reached for the toilet paper. When I turned around to clean his nose, he was gasping. And of course, I became a little bit frantic. Timby, what's wrong? Timby, what's the matter? And he just gasped. And when his tummy was working, and as normal, he would always say, Omar, I'm finished, when his stomach was finished. And he said to me in a very low voice, Omar, I'm finished. And then he said, I'm finished the second time. And the third time, he said, I'm finished, and he just collapsed. I picked him up from there, and I brought him back to the bed where he used to sleep. I ran for the alarm system for the panic button, and I pressed the panic button frantically. It was not for me to call the security company. I was trying to wake him up. And of course, I couldn't. And that was the end of it. And that was how it all ended. That's why I say, on days like that, you go on your knees. You know you have to pray, but you can't. There's just nothing to say. There's absolutely nothing. Just how I got through all the arrangements and everything, I don't know. But believe you me, it's almost, 3 years ago? August will be 3 years ago.
Yes.
I miss Timby every day. I speak to him every day. And I know where he is. He looks after us. I have other children in the home. I have other disabled children in the home, but none of them.
Yes.
I would assume when you are a parent, you have many children, and no children are the same. You love them all, but yes, none of them are the same. It took me 6 months to start working again after Timby passed away, because I refused. I said, I cannot go through it again. I refused to become so attached again. But Timby, having been Timby, there was no way you could not become attached to him.
That's true.
Yes, he was my friend. He was my ears. He was my partner. He heard when my phone would ring. He would tell me before it rang. When someone was at the gate, Omar, there's someone at the gate, before I even heard that there was someone at the gate. We had breakfast together. He was my breakfast partner. So it was a major, major adjustment that I had to make. But I thank God for having given us Timby.
Oh, yes.
I thank his mother. I thank his mother for having left him at the hospital, because we had the opportunity to play a part in the life of a great young man.
Oh yes, oh yes, yeah. It's you know, somebody triggered this interview because I normally use his photos everywhere. Every photo that I still have with him, I'm still doing my calendars. I'm still using it everywhere, and I do have other photos that I've taken with other kids around the country. Some of them handicapped and so forth. But this one has a special place somewhere in my heart, and you know, it's a no go area for me, because when you start talking about Thembi, you are moving me, and I get lost somewhere. Um, so currently, how many kids do you have in the center?
There are 8 kids altogether. 4 of them are in wheelchairs. Okay, 4 in wheelchairs. And of course, we have the outreach program as well, where we have the feeding scheme with more than 50 kids. COVID has hit us very hard. Okay. COVID has hit us very hard. Donations are almost zero. Okay. Donations are almost zero. So yes, it become very difficult. We'd love to have more kids in, but you know, when you're cash strapped, or when you have massive financial constraints or restraints, then obviously it becomes very, very difficult.
Now, in closing, if somebody was watching, probably somebody would be watching today, tomorrow, whenever, what message would you want to bring us through, and say, what are the things that are of priority that you need in the center? If somebody has an extra blanket, a tin of fish, or whatever, how do we go about? What are the things that you need? Because sometimes we are caught with people, because I normally work with orphanages around the country. People will be bringing clothes of older people to an orphanage where there are kids. So sometimes there is that misunderstanding. But in your case, in your center, what are the things that you say they are of priority? And if we were to collect them, what is it that you need?
Okay, Bishop Q, for us, the major, how can I put it? The thing that costs us a lot is disposable nappies. You know, when you have, let's say, all right, as I say, 4 children, 4 disabled kids, you're looking at 3-4 nappies a day for each child. Okay.
Okay.
And disposable nappies are extremely costly. They're extremely costly. That is now, besides washing powder, is naturally also another huge factor, because we do washing daily. So, you know, there are things like, yes, nappies, washing powder, electrical appliances, Bishop Q. Okay. With the load shedding, we've already got a big fridge that is broken. We've got television sets that have been blown out because of load shedding. All right. So, you know, it is, you use a washing machine daily. The washing machines wear out. And those are the things that make our lives a bit easier, you know. They make our lives a bit easier. So, you know, besides, I mean, we run like every other normal home that needs the daily supplies, your food that you need, your electricity, you know, that kind of thing. But then, as I say, there are other things besides, which are like your electrical appliances that you use. For argument's sake, a tumble dryer would make our lives so much easier now during the winter months, because it is so extremely cold. I find myself doing washing in the evenings, and then in the morning you stay soft and you spin dry, just so that you can try and catch the little bit of sun that there is. Okay. So, you know, there are lots of things that we need over and above the daily things, your toiletries and that kind of thing for running the home.
Right. All right. It has been great once again. You always inspire me. Just talking to you or just seeing some of your posts on my WhatsApp, you just sending that little message, it has always inspired me. And I'm still very grateful that I am such a strong and a powerful woman like you. And I wish God could continuously bless you and give you strength to continue inspiring not only me but other people as well who are close to you. Anything that you'd like to say in closing?
Amen. And peace be with you, my brother.
Yeah, no, thanks very much. Thanks very much for the opportunity. God willing, probably I'll make time, and because I have a chunk of guys that it's a group of pastors. Hope and pray that maybe one day we will be able to organize ourselves, and I will give you a call, and then we will be coming through to Ga-Rankuwa and come and see you once again. But look, talking to you every day, it's quite a blessing. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Bishop Q. Thank you. God bless you.
All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. I'm done. You see, when we talk about the work that I've done working with children from all over globally, we have fought with people in Nigeria. We go to Yugoslavia where they were taking kids for fishing and child labor there. We were fighting with so many people. I think this is one work that I've done and I'm home about it. I'm glad about it. So it's a great thing. It's a wonderful thing. It might have happened some few years ago, but I'm still grateful about it. This is Global Talk with Bishop Q. We just spoken to Louisa, who's running an orphanage in Ga-Rankuwa. And I'll post some of the photos on my comment there. And you'll see the child that we are talking about. Very inspiring. So, gentlemen, to continue following us, if you've joined us, continue taking us there. And make sure that you click there. And thanks for all the messages. Thanks for the messages which are coming through. Go and tell a friend. Look, making a difference to somebody else, it's more than anything. So the messages are coming strong and fast, but we are thankful. We are thankful. What can we do? So from here on, ladies and gentlemen, just continue following us. Make sure that you follow us on Twitter. You follow us on Facebook. You also follow us on YouTube. Make sure that you click there. And you make sure that you tell a friend about the Global Talk with Bishop Q. It's a talk show, never been done before. I still say that the country is not even ready for us. Tomorrow we are doing a special session just for prayers. So if you need a prayer, just make sure that you keep on writing to us, telling us where you are, where you're coming from. Tell us your story. Let us pray for you. Starting from 1 o'clock until 2 o'clock, we'll be doing prayer requests. So keep on sending them through our Facebook, Twitter, everywhere else where you can get us. And remember to continue playing the competition as well. For the spa, it is still there. 28th of June is my birthday. We are definitely going to Alexander. I'm taking a group of pastors as well. We are going to Alexander. And remember, if you still need more too, if you still need that person who's going to hold you and touch you and tell you how much special you are, make sure that you continue writing to us, Kikupa Motu. Tell us who are you looking for, what kind of a person are you looking for, then we can take it from there. The books are still available, 350 for 3 books, Kapilani, lessons from my father, and Yearning for Tomorrow. They are available. It's 350. Just make sure that you get in contact with us. We are still looking for chefs, musicians, and fashion designers. Continue contacting us. And in closing, young women in business, make sure that you get in touch with us. This is Global Talk with Bishop Q. It has been great. It has been emotional. It has been a roller coaster. I love you all. Ngiyabonga nonke emakhaya. God bless you. I love you.